Hi, I'm Sergio, and welcome to Sergio Paulo Worships. I don't really like to give the enemy a foothold in my tongue, so I'm probably not going to bring up every single spiritual attack. But I did want to dedicate an episode to some of the struggles and the friction that's been already that I believe to be spiritual, trying to keep me from doing this mission. Another thing I just wanted to address is just the fact that these episodes are pretty behind the times. Not that they're meaning that I have released a lot less episodes than I was hoping to by this point. And part of that is the attacks, but it's also just the routine of raising support. My goals, the purpose of this vlog is to share goals from wins and losses from last week, goals from next week. And so far, the goals each week are kind of the same. It's emails, calls, appointments. That's kind of the whole gist of raising support. It's kind of a routine. Which brings up, if you are going to go down this path and you want to raise support for your mission, I cannot underline that book by Steve Shadrach, The God Ask, enough. It's just like paint by numbers with that. It literally reconfigures your own thinking from feeling like, hey, can you help me out because I need money for this thing, to helping people invest their earthly treasures into their heavenly kingdom. Challenges, man, the enemy comes in all different ways. I remember one early on was I got an offer for a government job, and I had applied for it 2 years ago. Like early pandemic, I applied for this gig, and it's a good gig. It's helping kids, at-risk kids and adults who are on probation complete it's overseeing them complete their community service. So you kind of oversee the program, fill out reports so the judge can kind of tell the bad apples from the good apples. Tons of opportunity for being a light and doing good, which is why I applied for it in the first place, with all the security of government work. I mean, it literally felt like I was staring down options where I could, do this really hard thing of raising support that I'm not good at and don't like, or I could also not ever have to worry about money again. I could ride this gig out for 20 years, retire. Once you get into the government, you're then eligible to apply for other jobs that are internal only. So even if I get bored 5 years from now, I could do something else. It was a really good, it was a good option, and it weighed on me for a while. And it was honestly pretty freeing to tell them no and to just be like, I'm all in, I'm doing this. And I think that was the spiritual value, was that I get to feel now like I'm choosing to do this. It's not something I'm cornered to do. I don't have to do this. I'm choosing to do this ministry. The latest one is a stomach bug. We've been knocked down for like a week with a stomach bug, and it has just not been awesome, but it was pretty mild as far as stomach bugs go. It still just isn't fun, and coming out of that, it's just a really terrible time to spend a week not tip top. I kind of briefly touched on it in the last episode, just the reason that I wanted to cover friction and pain point is because if you're choosing to raise support and do this ministry that you have burning in your heart, that if you're still in the part where you're being called, I highly recommend journaling it, log it, try and get it stored somehow. I think that part of the helmet of salvation is actually the logical brain, is memorizing verses, memorizing promises, so that when the going gets tough, we have, and our heart kind of goes up and down, we have kind of something strong to lean on. One other thing that's kind of cool to just mention is just that in my experience, God likes to show up when it's undeniably Him. If it's, it's easy for me to take the pat on the back and go, oh, Sergio did his calls, his emails, his appointments, he raised the support. But there's been weeks where I had, because I produce music as well as this stuff, and I got pulled off the project for a full week and still went up 10%. And that wasn't me, that was God. And that's cool. I get that testimony now. That's it this week. If this brings you any value, please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks, and have a good one.